My name is Liana, I'm 33, and I haven't been sleeping much lately. Not because of work or stress or even insomnia. But because something I did, something I said, keeps replaying in my mind like a scratched record. I told him I didn't love him anymore. I said it after he handed me a mug of chamomile tea, kissed my forehead, and asked if I wanted to go away with him for the weekend. I broke his heart while he was still holding mine together. And the worst part? I don't even know when I started to feel it unravel. Maybe it was months ago. Maybe longer. All I know is, by the time he paid off the $30,000 I owed, something inside me had already gone quiet. When Daniel and I first met, I was newly out of a chaotic situationship, the kind that makes you doubt your worth. Daniel was calm. Warm. Intentional. The kind of man who rubbed the back of my neck when I talked about my mother, who noticed when I switched shampoos, who remembered how I liked my eggs. We made pancakes on Sundays. We slow danced in the kitchen. Our intimacy was soft and warm and patient. Not wild, but safe. And I needed safe. He wasn't rich, not back then. But he was always generous. Especially with his time. And God, I loved that about him. I used to lie in bed with my leg draped over his hand lazily tracing circles on my thigh while we talked about traveling to Japan or opening a bookstore by the sea. He'd kiss my shoulder and whisper things like, "I'm proud of you," when I hit a work milestone. He said he could see the future in my eyes. And for a while, I believed him. But things changed. Slowly. Quietly. He started making more money. Not in some flashy, overnight way. Just steady, upward growth. And I was proud of him, at first. Until it started to feel like I was shrinking in comparison. I was drowning in debt. $30,000. A mix of bad decisions, impulsive shopping, and a failed small business. I carried that shame like a secret disease. But I told him one night after too much wine and too little pride. I cried. He held me. And then, a week later, he cleared it. Just like that. No grand speech. No asking for anything in return. He just said, "I've got you." That's when things should have gotten better. Instead, I felt something twist inside me. It was the way he kissed me that night, soft, reverent, like he was cradling something broken. I wanted to kiss him back with the same fire, but all I could feel was pressure. Gratitude. Obligation. A hug that didn't feel like mine anymore. And then came the small moments. Moments I still think about. Like the morning I pulled away from a kiss too fast, and he blinked like I'd slapped him. Or when we curled into each other on the couch, but I didn't melt, I stiffened. Or the night I pretended to be asleep so I wouldn't have to talk about us. The love didn't vanish in one dramatic wave. It just leaked out, slowly, until one day I realized I didn't miss him when he was gone. I missed me. And the exact moment I knew something had changed? It was a Tuesday. He came home with Thai food and that dumb smile he always wore when he saw me. He kissed my forehead, held my waist, whispered, "You're everything." And all I could think was, "I feel nothing." That was the first time I admitted the truth, at least to myself. Now the hard part, saying it out loud. Daniel's a nurse. A damn good one. People love him, patients, coworkers, strangers in elevators. He knows how to be gentle in a crisis, how to crack a joke without sounding forced, how to wrap a wound like he's tucking a baby into bed. That's part of why I fell for him. He knows how to show care. But lately, it's like he's been pouring that care all over me in ways I can't absorb. He touches me constantly, his hand on my back while I'm cooking, a kiss to my temple when I'm reading, his fingers brushing my hip under the covers even when I'm curled up facing the wall. It's all so tender. But I feel smothered. The irony is, if anyone from the outside looked in, they'd say I was lucky. And maybe I am. But love isn't just about being treated well. Sometimes, it's about being known. And I don't think he really knows me anymore. Not now. Take last Saturday. I was working on my freelance design portfolio, headphones in, deep in the flow. Daniel came home from a double shift, sweaty and exhausted. I looked up, smiled, waved, and went back to my screen. He stood there for a beat, then walked over, gently pulled the headphones off my ears and kissed me. Long, warm. Intimate. But it wasn't the right moment. I was still halfway in my thoughts. And when I didn't kiss him back with the same weight, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Disappointment? Hurt. Something close to rejection. He stepped back and said, "You're cold lately." Did I do something? I blinked. What? No. I'm just working. He didn't push. Just nodded. Said okay with that quiet voice he uses when he's trying not to argue. But the air stayed heavy between us the rest of the night. Later, in bed, he curled up behind me like he always does, spooning me, tucking his chin near my neck. His hand drifted down, fingers splayed across my belly. And all I could feel was tension. He probably thought I was mad at him. But I wasn't. I just couldn't let him in. It's not the touch that bothers me, it's the timing. The way he tries to fix silence with sex, or mend distance with cuddles. And I get it, touch is how he feels close. But for me, it's not enough if the words are missing. We used to talk about everything. Dumb things. Big dreams. My anxiety. His strained relationship with his father. Now, the only words between us are about groceries, bills, what time he's working next week. I remember once, about a year into our relationship, he woke me up at 2 a.m. just to ask what my childhood bedroom looked like. That's the kind of emotional intimacy I crave, the kind that makes me feel seen. Now, he tells me he loves me while handing me a plate of food. Or in the middle of folding laundry. Or right before pressing kisses down my spine. It's not that I don't believe him. I know he thinks he loves me. But I can't feel it anymore. And I think that's what hurts the most. Because I haven't changed how I need to be loved. I've just stopped pretending that this is enough. He keeps holding me tighter. And I keep slipping further away. I hate how often I pretend to be asleep now. Sometimes I lay there before he even gets home, eyes shut, back turned, breathing slow. I listen for the sound of his keys, his heavy nurse sneakers dropping by the door, the soft clink of the microwave as he reheats whatever leftovers I left out. Then the shower. Then his footsteps. And finally, the dip in the mattress behind me. Every step makes me flinch. I wish I could explain it to him. I wish I could explain it to myself. Tonight, it was chicken Alfredo, his favorite. I made it because I felt guilty. I still do things for him out of guilt. Guilt is such a terrible replacement for love. We sat at the table, just the two of us. The way he looked at me made my skin itch, like I was something precious. His hand kept grazing mine as we passed the salad bowl, and I forced smiles like a polite dinner guest. Not a girlfriend. Not a partner. After dinner, I was rinsing dishes when I felt him come up behind me. He wrapped his arms around my waist and kissed the back of my neck. The way he used to. Except now, it felt rehearsed. Like he was hitting his marks in a script we used to believe in. "You smell like basil and soap," he murmured. "Thanks," I said, stiffly, still holding a fork under the running water. Then he gave me a little playful smack on the butt. The kind that used to make me giggle and lean into him. This time, I froze. He didn't notice. Or maybe he pretended not to. He kissed my cheek. "Come to bed?" "I have a deadline," I lied. He nodded, but the silence that followed was thick. And then, as he walked away, he said, too softly, "I miss you." The words hit me right in the stomach. Because I missed me, too. 2 hours later, I climbed into bed next to him. He stirred, rolled over, and without a word, pulled me into him. His hands started moving before his eyes were even fully open, down my side, across my hip, up my shirt. I didn't stop him. But I didn't respond either. He kissed me. Gentle. Familiar. The kind of kiss that once lit fireworks inside me. Now it felt like an echo. A shadow. I kissed him back, but every second of it, I was narrating in my head, tilt your head, close your eyes, soften your lips. Don't pull away. Just pretend. Just get through it. He ran his fingers through my hair and whispered, God, I love you. I don't think I whispered anything back. I just pressed my face into his neck and let him think that meant something. I know what he's trying to do. He thinks if he touches me enough, I'll feel close again. If he holds me tighter, I won't drift. But it's not my skin that needs holding. It's my heart. And he hasn't asked about that in months. We used to talk for hours. Now he just reaches for me in the dark and hopes I'll let him in. And I do, sometimes. I let him in because I don't know how to say no without hurting him. But afterward, I always feel lonelier. I curl up on my side, watching the ceiling, and the same thought keeps looping through my head, why does everything have to turn into sex? It was supposed to be a surprise. He'd planned dinner at that little French place downtown, the one with the candlelit booths and velvet chairs. The same place we celebrated our first anniversary, the night he gave me a necklace with my birthstone and told me he wanted to grow old with me. I still wore that necklace sometimes. Out of habit more than love. I thought it'd be nice to go back, Daniel said, straightening his collar in the mirror. You've been stressed. We haven't had a night out in months. He was right. I was stressed. And tired. And numb. But I put on the black dress he liked, the one that hugged my waist, and I sat across from him under the soft glow of antique chandeliers. The food came. Wine flowed. He told a story about a patient who brought in a stray cat during their ER visit. I smiled. I laughed, even. But something in me was fraying, quietly, then all at once. And then, dessert came. It was tiramisu, my favorite. I hadn't even mentioned that to him in over a year, but he remembered. He reached across the table, took my hand in his, and said with that gentle, earnest tone, I just want you to feel taken care of. Like, really taken care of. I paid off the debt because I love you, Lee. Because I couldn't watch you carry that alone. And that's when I broke. I don't even remember standing. I just remember the sting behind my eyes and the heat in my cheeks as I yanked my hand from his and whispered, too loud for a whisper, you keep acting like love is something you do to me. Like I'm some project. His face dropped. The table went quiet. The couple next to us stopped mid-conversation. I didn't mean, he started. No, you never mean to make me feel small, Daniel. But you do. Every time you try to fix something. Every time you smother me with kindness I didn't ask for. Every time you act like you're saving me. I thought I was helping, he said, voice suddenly tight. You cried when I offered to pay it off. You thanked me. I didn't know how to say no, I shot back. I didn't even want you to. I just wanted you to see me. Not rescue me. Silence. Long and sharp. He leaned back. The candlelight flickered in his glass. His jaw clenched, and when he finally spoke, it was barely above a whisper. So what do you want from me, Liana? I couldn't answer. Because I didn't know anymore. We rode home in silence. The city lights passed like ghosts. When we got inside, I walked straight to the bathroom and locked the door. I sat on the cold tile floor, still in the black dress, still wearing the necklace he gave me. And I cried. The kind of crying that scrapes your ribs on the way out. Because I knew I'd hurt him. And he didn't deserve it. Not really. I was angry at me. Angry at the part of me that let love become something to endure. That turned gratitude into resentment. That said yes when I meant wait, and thank you when I meant I'm not ready. How do you explain to someone that their goodness feels suffocating? That their love has started to feel like a trap? That night, curled up on the bathroom floor, mascara streaked and hands shaking, I asked myself the same question over and over: why do I feel emptier now that I owe him nothing? It's been 2.5 weeks since the dinner. The tiramisu has turned into a joke in my head, some symbol of everything sweet that's gone sour. I've been walking through our apartment like a ghost in my own story. The place still smells like us, his aftershave in the bathroom, my vanilla candles in the living room, but the warmth is gone. It's like we've both agreed to stop trying without saying it out loud. Daniel doesn't touch me anymore. That's how I first noticed the shift. The man who used to find ways to hold me even when passing the remote now barely brushes my arm when we share the couch. And yes, we still sit together. We still eat. We still ask the usual, how was work? Did you sleep okay? But it's like we've both memorized the lines in a play we no longer believe in. He stays later at the hospital. Picks up extra shifts. Sometimes I pretend to be asleep when he comes in, even though I'm wide awake. I hear him put his bag down, hear the tap run for his toothbrush. Then the long pause at the bedroom door, like he's waiting to hear me call out. I never do. Last Thursday, I heard him crying in the shower. I didn't go in. I just sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the floor, feeling more alone than I've ever felt with someone just 10 feet away. That was the first time I truly saw his sadness, not the frustrated silence, not the deflated smiles, but the pain behind his stillness. He was hurting. And I had put that hurt there. But it wasn't as simple as he saved me and I betrayed him. That's the version that would make me the villain, and maybe it'd be easier to believe that. But the truth is murkier. More human. He wanted to save me, and I let him. And in doing that, I disappeared a little. Now, I miss him. Not the way he holds me or kisses me or spoons me at night. I miss the man who used to ask me about the stories I wrote in my journal. Who made me playlists with weird indie songs he knew I'd roll my eyes at but secretly love. Who once left me a note in my coat pocket that said, "You're more than your mistakes." I miss him. But I don't know how to get back to him without lying again. Without pretending that everything he gave me didn't make me feel indebted. Or small. Or slowly erased. He's not a villain. He never was. Sometimes I wonder if he's been feeling the same kind of ache all along, watching me slip through his fingers while trying to hold me tighter. Maybe his sadness is also tangled in guilt. Maybe we're both just two good people who forgot how to love each other properly. Yesterday, I caught him staring at me from across the kitchen table. There was no anger in his eyes. Just quiet grief. The kind that comes after too many unspoken goodbyes. I didn't know what to say. He looked down, picked at his food, and mumbled, "I'm tired, Lee." And I wanted to say me too. But I didn't. Now I sit on the edge of our bed with that same sentence playing over and over in my head, I miss him. The question is, do I miss who he is? Or just who he used to be to me? Tomorrow, I'll decide. Either I'll reach for his hand again. Or I'll start packing. It happened on a Wednesday night, quiet, like most endings are. Daniel was lying on the couch, one arm flung over his eyes, the TV still humming low with some true crime documentary he'd lost interest in hours ago. I stood at the kitchen sink, staring at 2 mugs we hadn't touched, trying to convince myself that if I just washed them, I wouldn't have to say the words out loud. But I turned off the faucet. I walked over. I sat on the edge of the couch, where his feet were, and gently tapped his ankle. He opened his eyes slowly, blinking at me like I was a dream he wasn't sure he wanted to wake up from. "We need to talk," I said softly. He nodded, sat up, rubbed his face like he was bracing for something heavy. I think I broke something, I began. Not just between us. In me. He didn't speak. He didn't rush in to fix it. Just watched me, waiting. For once, he didn't reach for my hand. I think he finally understood that I needed space even now, to say it my way. I know you meant well, I said, voice shaky. Paying off the debt, all the things you've done to take care of me. I never thanked you properly because I didn't know how. I felt grateful, but also, like I disappeared a little. Like I became something to protect instead of a person you were really with. His eyes welled up. But he didn't interrupt. I took a breath. You gave so much. I didn't know how to match it without lying. And the more I tried, the more I felt like a fraud. I thought maybe love would come back if I just pretended hard enough. But it didn't. Daniel's voice cracked when he finally spoke. So, what are you saying? I looked down at my hands, twisting the hem of my sweater. I think I stopped being in love a while ago. I just didn't want to hurt you. And I know saying that now might hurt worse. He swallowed hard and looked away, blinking fast. I knew, he said, barely above a whisper. I knew something changed. I just thought if I loved you more, you'd find your way back. I nodded, tears finally slipping down my cheeks. I wanted to. Silence stretched between us, heavy but honest. Then, slowly, he reached for my hand, not to pull me in, not to make me stay, but to hold it for a moment. Just a moment. I'm not angry, he said. I'm just sad. I know, I said. Me too. He leaned forward and kissed my forehead, gently. No pressure. No fix-it. Just, goodbye. Later that night, I heard him moving pillows to the couch. I didn't stop him. I laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, remembering all the good, how he used to hum when he cooked, the way he danced like an idiot to cheer me up, the first time he told me he loved me and looked terrified I wouldn't say it back. And now, we were here. Not with screaming. Not with betrayal. But with the quiet honesty that sometimes, love softens into something you can't hold on to anymore. Not because it wasn't real. But because it ran its course. I've replayed that night more times than I'll admit. The soft kiss on my forehead. The weight of his hand letting go of mine. The way he looked at me like he still loved me, even if he was finally ready to stop. I didn't expect the silence afterward to feel so clean. Not easy, just honest. Like we'd both been holding our breath for so long, and now, we were finally allowed to exhale. Separately. I used to think love meant holding on. Fighting through. Fixing what broke, no matter what. I thought walking away was failure. But I don't believe that anymore. Sometimes love means being the first to admit the feeling changed. Even when the other person is kind. Especially when they are. Because it's not about whether someone deserves love, it's about whether they still fit into the way you need to be loved. Daniel was good to me. Gentle, patient, selfless. But he couldn't hear the parts of me that didn't want saving. And I didn't know how to say what I really needed without feeling ungrateful. I let the gap between us widen in silence. Until it swallowed us. That $30,000? It's gone now. Paid. A number on a screen wiped clean like it never existed. But what I learned is that debt doesn't just come in dollars. It comes in emotional IOUs. In thank yous you don't mean. In I love yous that start to feel like currency. And once I felt like I owed him love, the love died. I wanted to be wanted, not rescued. I wanted to be chosen every day, not protected like a fragile thing. And I know now, I didn't speak up because I didn't believe I was allowed to want more when I already had so much. But here's the truth, desire can't survive under the weight of obligation. Emotional intimacy isn't built on what someone does for you, it's built on being seen. Fully. Messily. Without makeup or apology. And I stopped letting Daniel see me when I stopped believing I could show up as anything less than grateful. I don't regret loving him. Not even a little. I don't regret the years, the laughter, the quiet Sundays, or the time he made soup when I was sick and stayed up all night watching dumb rom-coms just to make me smile. He was my person, until he wasn't. And I think that's okay. We don't talk anymore. He moved to a different part of the city. I kept the apartment. Some nights I still wake up reaching for him out of habit. Then I remember the space in the bed isn't empty, it's mine. And that matters. Because I'm not lost anymore. I'm learning that wanting more for yourself doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. And being honest, brutally, beautifully honest, might just be the most intimate thing you can do in a relationship. Even if it ends it. So if you're listening to this, and you're sitting in silence with someone who used to feel like home, ask yourself, are you in love, or are you just afraid to say you're not anymore? It's not the answer that will break you. It's the pretending. And when you finally stop pretending, that's when your life begins. E2.